Greetings and welcome to my Planet Zoo animal presentation. In this speed build you can learn animal facts about the animal from today's episode, which will be an antelope favored by the voting of my channel. An antelope which was once extinct in the wild. The Scimitar-Horned Oryx is a species belonging to the order of Artiodactyla, so even-toed ungulate. Within that, the bovids family and the subfamily Hippotryginae. It's one of the 4 oryx species within the subfamily of grazing antelopes. It was once widespread throughout North Africa, but was declared extinct in the wild in 2000. It was first described to science with the name of Oryx algazelle in 1816 by Lorenz Oken, who was a German naturalist, botanist and ornithologist. Like so many other species, the Scimitar-Horned Oryx has been subject to various taxonomic classifications and relocations several times. It has also been called Oryx tao, Oryx leucoryx, Oryx dammah, Oryx bezoarticus and Oryx ensicornis, probably without its knowledge. Philipp Jakob Kretschmar, a German physician and ornithologist, has named it Oryx amma in 1826. A year later it was renamed to Oryx leucoryx, but it could not remain, as it was already the synonym of the Arabian oryx, although the scientific name of that at the time was Oryx beatrix. Because of this, the Scimitar-Horned Oryx regained the name Oryx algazelle given by Oken. After more than 100 years, in 1951, the British naturalists Sir John Ellerman and Terence Morrison Scott noticed that the scientific name Oryx algazelle was not appropriate. So in January 1956, the International Committee on Zoological Nomenclature accepted its current scientific name, Oryx dammah, that is, with an H at the end. Since then it has more or less managed to keep this name, although in some writings it was even referred to as Oryx gazella tau. Unfortunately, it was not able to maintain its life in the wild so successfully. The genus name Oryx comes from the ancient Greek word orux, which means a gazelle or an antelope, although it is also written that the word originally meant a pickaxe. The species name dammah comes from the Latin word dammah, which means fallow deer or antelope, but it is also possible that it comes from the Arabic word dammar, which means sheep. Do you think the Latin dammah or the Arabic dammar is the winner? Write your opinion in the comment section. From the oryx genus, only the Scimitar-Horned Oryx does not have straight horns. By the way, the scimitar is a Middle Eastern curved blade. In the wild it lived in deserts, semi-deserts and dry grassy deserts that make up the Sahara, in mixed-sex herds numbering between 2 and 40, and the herds were led by adult bulls. The bulls often fought with each other, but these fights did not last long and were not rough. Its main areas of occurrence were the central parts of North Africa, apart from a narrow strip from Niger to Chad, and other fringes of the Sahara. There were also herds in some parts of the Sahel region. Specifically, it was native to Algeria, Burkina Faso, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sudan, Tunisia and Western Sahara. During the rainy season, the herds migrated into the interior of the Sahara. On these migration routes, the smaller herds joined and formed up to thousands of individuals. There were even times when 10,000 individual herds were seen on the grasslands of Chad. In the 1970s, 95% of the total population lived in Chad. The northern population was already close to extinction before the 20th century. When Europeans settled in the southern parts of its range, the southern population also began to decline rapidly, as large-scale hunting for their trophies, hides and meat became widespread. The Second World War and the Civil War in Chad that began in the 1960s also greatly contributed to its extinction, since both soldiers and hungry fleeing people hunted it for its meat, and with firearms it was easy to hunt. At the same time, people also occupied the watering places, and with that its fate was sealed. Until 1985, an estimated 500 Scimitar-Horned Oryxes still lived in the wild in Chad, but by 1988 this had decreased to only a few. In 2000 there were still unofficial reports of its existence in the wild in Chad and Niger, but in 2001 and 2004 large-scale surveys were carried out in this area and unfortunately no evidence was found. With its low water requirement and excellent cooling system, it has adapted well to its hot environment. When there is plenty of water, it can cool down its body temperature by giving off a liquid, but because of its environment is harsh, it has to reserve water, so it uses special method for this. That is, if it's very hot, instead of evaporating to equalize the temperature, it raises its own body temperature to 46.5 degrees Celsius. The height at the withers of the Scimitar-Horned Oryx is roughly between 100 and 130 centimeters. The weight of the bull is between 140 and 210 kilos, while the cow is significantly less, between 90 and 140 kilos. The tail is between 46 and 60 centimeters and is similar to the tail of cattle, with a long tuft at the end. The sexual dimorphism of the species is mainly manifested in the size. Otherwise, both sexes have long horns between 100 and 120 centimeters, but the cow's horns are more slender. Their horns are symmetrical and so thin that they break off easily. Its horns are made from hollow bone, and if broken down, they will not be regrown. Because of this, some say that the legend of the unicorn may have originated of sightings of one-horned scimitar oryxes. Its feet are large and spread wide, perfect for walking in the sandy desert. Its fur is white with reddish-brown spots on the throat to the breast, blackish dark brown patches on the top of the head, around the eyes and above the nose. Calves are born with yellow fur, but between the ages of 3 and 12 months they take on their adult colors. In its natural habitat, the Scimitar-Horned Oryx feeds on the leaves of shrubs and bushes, sedges, often soft-stemmed plants, succulents, tubers, roots and fruits. It likes plants that have a high moisture content. If it gets enough of these, it can survive for 9-10 months without water. When courting, the bull and the cow stand next to each other, facing in opposite directions, and then start circling each other until the cow prepares for the next ritual, receiving the bull. If the cow is still not ready, it runs away, and then they try again from the opposite direction. During the reproductive period, the cow's desire to mate lasts only for 24 hours. If during this time it does not manage to receive a bull, it will wait for the next period. The birds peak between March and October, but they can reproduce more often in case of better living conditions. The gestation period lasts for 9 months. The cow leaves the herd a week before calving and then gives birth to a 10-15 kilo calf. Twins are rarely born. After a few hours they join the herd together, but they live for a few hours each time they nurse. Weaning begins after 3.5 months, and soon after that the calf becomes independent. Soon after the birth of the calf, the female will be ready for mating again, so it can have up to 2 calves in 1 year. Both sexes reach sexual maturity at the age of 1.5 to 2 years. The average lifespan of a Scimitar-Horned Oryx is 15 years, but it can live up to 20 years, and the cow died at the age of 21 at the Smithsonian National Zoo. In the wild, its natural enemies were lions, leopards, cheetahs, African wild dogs, and hyenas, but their calves were also preyed upon by African wolves and large eagles. And now it's time for a little more positive information. Today, breeding programs are underway in Tunisia, Senegal, and Morocco to save the species. In addition, there is also a private collection in Texas, USA, where this species is bred along with other exotic animals. In 2016, a reintroduction program was launched and the first herd was created in Chad, which, although in a protected area, it can move freely, which is why the species was returned from the category of extinct in the wild to the category of critically endangered in 2017. Since then, more animals have been released. In fact, there are thousands of them living in several national parks around the world, but since these are fenced areas, they cannot be called free-living animals. Because of this, there are quite good chances for saving the species. There are also places in America and the Republic of South Africa where they are bred for sport hunting. This species of antelope was domesticated in ancient Egypt. According to some theories, it was kept for its meat and as an offering to the gods. Wealthy Romans also kept Scimitar-Horned Oryxes. It was one of the favorite prey antelopes for the Sahelo-Saharan hunters. Its leather is of very high quality and was highly valued even in the Middle Ages. For example, in the Middle Ages, the African king of Rio de Oro sent 1,000 shields to Spain made from Scimitar-Horned Oryx skin, and their skin was also used to make ropes and horse tools. The species is listed in Appendix 1 of the Washington Convention, known as CITES, meaning it is threatened with extinction. It is also included in Appendix 1 of the Convention of Migratory Species, the CMS, and in the action plan developed by the CMS to save Sahelo-Saharan antelopes. In Hungary, only the Zoo of Debrecen has Scimitar-Horned Oryxes. Thank you for watching. Remember to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out the other videos from the same list, and you can even check out my speed builds or the videos in Hungarian, as most of them have English subtitles. Write your opinion in the comments, I'm eager to read them. For conversation, you can join my Discord server, invite can be found in the description. Have a sunny day!